What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the Mingin Moto Show. So, y'all know I love the Shinko 525 cheater tires for the rear tire for my dirt bike. As you can see, it's still on the wheel. No, I'm not swapping this out yet. I just got done putting my new sprocket on there. My new 51 tooth rear sprocket, and I went from a 50 to a 51. Now, this is a Shinko 525 cheater tire. It is a 120 millimeter tire in width by a 90 millimeter tall sidewall for a 19-inch rim. This is a Kenda Millville 2 120 90 19. It's the exact same size tire as the 525 cheater. I like the 525s. I absolutely love the 525s for the rear, and I love the Shinko 216 MX for the front because they get a lot of grip. That 216 MX on the front I've had on there now for about a year and a half, maybe a year and 9 months, and I'm about to swap it out. It's November now. I put that, it's been about a year and 3 months since I put the 216 on there on the front. This one I put on, gosh damn, when did I put this one on? I've had this thing on there for about a year and a half. This 525 cheater. It still has, and I never turned this one around, so it still has a sharp edge right here on this side, on the back side, because it's going in this direction towards the front of the bike. And I mean, you can see that it's getting pretty well worn down. Like the knobs aren't really there, especially compared to these. There's a little bit of a side profile there as best as I can, on tread depth. But if you can see that, I'm gonna try see how this is kind of rounded, and then this one's kind of more flat. I don't know how I'm gonna like this Millville 2. I really don't know how I'm gonna like it. I mean, any new tire is gonna feel really good for the first half of its life because it's brand new and it's got the real deep treads, and but the one thing I've noticed about with tires, even with the dirt tires, man, they get this little lip right here on the front that's real sharp, and it just is hard as hell, because you gotta really break in the dirt tires, because unlike a street tire, it's basically a slick tire with tread carved into it, so it's still got a little bit of a slickness to it. Dirt bike tires are not like that. They're basically a slick tire with knobs added on top of it, so it's like building a sandcastle, right? You got the beach there, but then you start packing shit on, like, shapes on top of it. That's what a dirt bike tire is. A street bike tire is kind of like if you're at the same beach and you start like taking your finger and you put lines in the ground. That's the best way I can think of how to explain a dirt bike tire compared to a street bike tire, right? I'm probably not explaining that the best, or you probably get it, or I could have probably used a different analogy, but that's the way it is. Now, the reason why I go with the 120 on the back compared to like a 110 or a 100 is because it's kind of like, it's like trying to have a street sport bike front tire on the rear compared to having a like a monster truck tire on the rear. I mean, I know that's a big difference in tire size, but when you're in the dirt you want as much traction as you can. I mean, I know on the street you want as much traction as you can too, but on the street you're on a hard paved surface, so it's a little bit easier to get grip on the blacktop because the blacktop is grippy as it is. Dirt, on the other hand, is loose. It's soft in some spots. Sometimes it's hard packed dirt with soft sand on it, which is like marbles on ice. Then you got rocks, and you got these big huge slabs of rock that are covered in gravel, just like blacktop with gravel. It's all sorts of messed up, so the terrain is never the same from one spot to the next, you know. And then you might have a patch of hard packed sand here, and then 5 feet down the way you might have really loose soft sand that your bike just sinks in. So you want the bigger platform on the back. So you can tell how big, I'm assuming you can kind of see how big this thing really is compared to this tire. Like my hand almost covers this whole rear tire almost. It covers about 75% of this tire here. So I do like the fact so far that it is wider, at least flat wise. But I don't like the fact that it's a soft to intermediate tire, not a hard intermediate to hard terrain tire. Now, like I've said before, I will always I'm going to be spending my own money on Shinko tires, right? This is the third Shinko 525 tire I've had on the rear of this dirt bike. I've already am on my second 216 MX on the front, which I'm about to replace with a Dunlop right now because my friend Martin gave me a y'all have already seen it on Instagram. He's got a bunch of front tires and rear tires that he got for free from his friend who races, but all of his rear tires are 18s and mine are 19s, so I can't use them, but his fronts are 21s. So I figured him and I both figured he'll give me a front tire, seeing that he can't use them all at once. He's got like 7 of them sitting at his house, so he gave me a free front tire and got this one off of Amazon, like I said, because my Amazon gift card. So, you know, and there was a whole backstory about, you know, the fact that all my Shinko 525s I was looking at were either not in my size, they weren't the right rim size, they weren't the right width, they weren't, you know, whatever, or they were overpriced because the people selling them were trying to sell them for double, or my size was sold out, you know, whatever. So I might as well just go with something different right now until I can get another 525. But that so far is a different size comparison, and I know it looks like it's a little bit shorter. It might be a little bit shorter, but I don't know. It's just the fact that this one's actually on the wheel with the inner tube fully inflated right now, and this one's not. So the shape might be a little bit different once I actually get this tire on. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments section down below. Love y'all, be safe, catch you on the flip side, dude.